There we are. Hello and welcome everybody to the Catenaccio Podcast live on Twitch on the Radio Rossonera channel. We are back. We have been segregated to the world that is Spreaker and all those podcast platforms where you can't see our beautiful faces. But now we are back onto Twitch where we can see our beautiful faces and all the graphics we made for you guys. And, we're going to talk a lot about, what are we going to talk about? Serie A, what can we talk about? All right, before we start the show, first of all, let's always, as always, thank Radio Rossonera for allowing us to be on their platform. It's probably not going to be for long because they're probably going to kick us out, because we're too good. No, just kidding. They probably won't kick us out. They love us, and we are also the youngest and most fun there. So, before we start, let me introduce the panel as always. To my right, Jonathan Kunze-Koncevits, directly from, where are you at, in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I'm in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, baby. You know, Lazio, we might have lost a lot recently, but my mood is unaffected. We're finally back on Twitch, and I'm excited.
That's good, that's good. And then our newest acquisition, our own Juventino, Riccardo Sampietro. What's up, Ricky?
Hey guys, first time for me on Twitch, so let's have a good episode. Not a very good Juve game, that changed a bit my mood, but I'm excited to be on Twitch, so let's have a good episode, guys.
And then the next guy up is Amy. Amy, as you may know, before he introduces himself, it's been a while since you guys last saw us. Amy every time has a different location, and every time the location is weirder or like uglier than the other. It's incredible. Amy, introduce yourself. Where are you at right now?
Still in a bunker, undisclosed location, somewhere in Italy. No Jesus this time, no cross. But still, let's have a great episode.
Let's have a great episode. And then last but not, also, just saying, Amy is the only one without a shirt. The memo was, everybody,
I apologize.
Get a shirt for the episode. Emiliano thought to himself, nah. All right, and then last but not least, our good friend Luca Hofmeister. What's up, Luca?
Hey guys, happy to be back. Excited to be back on Twitch, even though I'm already getting roasted in the chat by the Piscina. But yeah, I hope it's a good episode. Happy for the Milan result. And yeah, let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it. As always, I am your host, Alearda Oriani. I am currently in Turkey, so it's like it's midnight right now in Turkey, but it doesn't matter. I'm more than happy to be here and to be doing this, guys. So let's get to it. Catenaccio Podcast, we're back. Okie dokie. So we are now at Matchday. What is it, guys? 23 and episode 13. Oh, no, actually, Matchday 24. And these are the results we have seen this weekend. So, first of all, the Torino against... Wait, we have already a message. Arda, how do you say Frabotta in Turkish? I don't know if you mean like in the rude way or the actual player, but I'll take it as Amona Khouim. No. Moving on. The first game we had this weekend was actually postponed, unfortunately, due to COVID. It was meant to be Torino Sassuolo, but Torino apparently had about 7 players who were tested positive for COVID. So that was a big problem, and we're going to probably postpone the next game, which is going to be, if I'm not wrong, Torino Lazio. Guys, correct me, or Lazio Torino?
Torino Lazio.
Yep.
Yeah, Lazio Torino.
Torino, sorry.
The first thing we are going to talk about is Spezia against Parma, and Spezia, who last week lost to Fiorentina 3-0, and Parma as well didn't do too well. But this week, this game was, which side is home side? Well, left side, buddy. Nicholas. All right, I was saying, this week, Spezia against Parma was a bit of a crucial game for both, because Spezia, it was to see if their run of form against Milan was, something realistic, or if it was just, I got some of my colleagues saying Alearda right from Hakan's end. Yes, that is true. Although he is actually more German than Turkish, but that's a conversation for another day. I was saying Spezia against Parma, it was to see whether Spezia was just on a run of form against Milan, if it was just, just that game, or whether they actually meant a bit of business. And Parma, when are they going to actually get into the game? So I wrote a few notes down. First note I've written down for this game is, guys, did you see Caramo's goal? Absolutely incredible. Amy, you as an Inter Milan fan, when you see him scoring those kind of goals, how do you feel?
It's double the pain because I also had him in Fanta Calcio, and I gave him away for free, basically. So double the pain.
Yeah, you don't actually regret him leaving Inter, right?
No, he doesn't fit our system. Like, let's be real. he can't
Well-
play instead of Hakimi is 10 times better, even 20 times
No,
better.
yeah,
so-
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's-
He's a good prospect, though. All right. Apart from that, for a second there, we thought Parma was going to win because they were great goal from a young trapper, Caramo Kevin, for 2069. What a name as well. All right, as I was saying, from Parma, we were seeing some great stuff. 2-0 up with a Hernani goal as well. And we thought, you know what, they might have us in the bag and finally actually getting something for themselves. But no, Spezia, put their game in gear, and Yazzie scoring twice with a good brace. I think the real key player was Verdi coming in because he really gave the team a boost. But I think what was most interesting, guys, I know you guys saw the game as well as I did. I love this game for one reason. How many times in Serie A have you seen these small teams run so much one against the other? Usually these small games are like, they're quite boring, and Catenaccio, and maybe like they score like some crap goal off a header. This game, the amount of running I saw, the amount of pace was absolutely incredible. I think it really did him justice. I think it really did him justice.
Yeah,
Right,
true. And then also, I just wanted to mention that Parma, it's the second game in a row because last week they were 2-0 up against Udinese, and then Udinese managed to catch up. So second time in a row.
Yeah, Parma are not looking. They're looking a bit shaky, guys.
They need to pick up some more points. Otherwise, they're really going to risk getting relegated at the end of the season.
They have these like really young, like really talented players who are meant to come in and change everything. They're still hanging on to Hernani.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it last week. Like Xerxes, he probably had 20 games in Bundesliga. I don't know how much you can expect him to come over to Serie A, league he's never played in, and save Parma.
And he got injured also. Yeah.
By the way,
look, honestly, I think Parma's name is already written on the tombstone. They're gone. They're dead. That's how I see it.
Jonathan, wow. Anyway, before I continue, I'd like to remind everyone, if one of you guys could do it as well, that you can sub to the Radio Rossonera channel. You can sub with your Amazon Prime account. You just link them, and it's completely free. Nicholas Bean saying running from relegation in it. Yeah, I don't see them doing that well this year. Sorry, as I was saying, you can subscribe via your Amazon Prime. It's absolutely free, and it would help us a lot. You can also donate. So if you go into the chat and you press exclamation key donate and exclamation key prime, you will get the links to do that. If one of you guys could do that, that would be very nice. Thank you very much, Iboyani. So moving on to the next game, I'm so happy Jonathan is actually here now. You guys remembered how every time Lazio loses, for some magical reason, our good friend right below me, Jonathan Kunze-Kontevitz, is nowhere to be seen. I've got a family dinner. I've got homework to do. Strangely enough, an exam appears the next day. But this time, you can't run anywhere because your connection is fantastic. We've seen you already. And you even didn't have that much to drink. So, Jonathan, Bologna 2, Lazio 0. What is going on? And may I ask you this before you start? Is this the champ? We were talking about this last week in the podcast. We were saying that maybe the Champions League will either give you that hit that is either going to boost you to do better, or is going to give you that hit like it just gets you on the ground and you're just going to get kicked by teams like Bologna. What's up, Jonathan? Tell us about Lazio.
I don't know, man. I always said this is a team that is incapable of playing 2 games a week because for the simple reason our reserves are too terrible. And then if you keep the same team always playing, the starters get too tired and they don't play well. And against Bologna, I don't know. We played terribly. Mobile missed a penalty. The momentum was fully against us, and we got dumpstered. What else is there to say? Our season is looking a little rough right now. We're not even in Coppa Italia anymore. There's no way we stay in Champions League. So top 4 should be the goal. I don't know if we're happy with Europa League. Personally, I'm not, but I don't know. We have to make do with what we have right now.
So you don't see it going that well for good old Lazio. More than that, I think Bologna was really in the game. Another ex-Inter playing who was Mbaye who scored. Amy, I don't know if you know a lot about Mbaye. He was also a big prospectus coming up in the youth teams for Inter. Do you know anything about him? Do you have any regrets for him?
Not really. I think he barely played for the first team. And it was in a time period where our team was very shaky, let's say. That's the word I'm going to use.
Sure, the Kuzmanovic and that lot.
We ignored that era. That never happened. The from 2010 to this year, nothing happened. I don't remember.
The Wikipedia page is just blank.
It's blank. It's blank. Go look. I'm not lying. So I don't know. There's so many players that left us for basically nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think he would. Obviously, he wouldn't even get to the team nowadays. But maybe a little bit of extra help. I don't know. He could be really good for some smaller teams.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well for Bologna. Bologna finally also scoring and actually getting some points at home. Also, did you guys see that performance by young Matthias Svanberg, who has been on a lot of teams, including AC Milan's radar lately? He played quite well. He had a pretty solid game, and I'm happy to see him do well.
He had one of the worst shots I've ever seen in my life, though. He shot from outside the box, and that went closer to the corner flag than to the goal. It was so bad.
Arda, by the way, last week we were talking about. You said that losing against Bayern was going to be a confidence boost for Lazio. Well, not a confidence boost, that they were going to then fight back on the weekend. I was the only one who predicted, I think, Lazio not winning. I didn't get the Bologna win, but I guessed a tie. Now, against Torino on Wednesday, they're probably not going to play. And then they have Juve, right?
We're gonna smash Juve. Don't worry about it, bro.
I don't know. I think
don't worry.
These are the words of a desperate man.
Murici is gonna send him a first train to the gulag. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So desperate. All right, and then moving on, shall we, to another team, which is this game is one of the games we call the big games of the weekend. But another team which had a not so good Champions League round, who I was again expecting to do very well, and they only fall to a draw against a very good Hellas Verona. We've seen Hellas Verona do pretty well this year. But Ricky, please talk us through the game, and then I've got a couple questions for you. In the meantime, I'm going to move to the slide about this game. So Ricky, talk us through this game. What happened, bro?
Yeah, guys, I'll be honest. Don't know what happened. Once again, we had to rely on Ronaldo that scored the goal. Chiesa with the assist, that was very intelligent. But once again, Ronaldo was the only one showing some being there, the only player. One thing that I've noticed is that we are seriously having issues with the injuries, because Pirlo, we know he's trying to put a new method in Juve and a new style of play, but we keep on insisting with Bentancur playing in front of the defense, which I'm not saying that's wrong. But for example, if we had Arthur there, I think the match against Porto when we got the first goal, those situations won't happen. And then also the goal that Hellas scored with Barak, it was, I think, Demiral losing a ball while we were trying to get out from our defense. So tough injuries once again, because we had out Alvaro Morata, Paulo Dybala. Who knows when he'll come back? Hopefully for Porto. But it's tough going into a season and having only Ronaldo as the striker, and okay, Kulusevski, but he's not like a pure striker. We're missing that other top player that can play up there with Ronaldo, and then also other players such as Arthur in that position, which is the best player who can play there. But
yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I think I saw one thing which I don't think I'll ever forget in my life. It was that Bernardeschi dribble on he went to the corner and the ball just went to him. It just fell over the corner flag. That was incredible. All right, I've got a quick fire question. Go for it.
Last thing about the match. As soon as it started, the first 5 minutes, I was so impressed about the intensity that both teams, especially Hellas, because it's not a big team, let's say, even if it's just below the top 7, we can argue. But the intensity both teams were playing, they were running. You couldn't make 5 passes in a row that the other guys of the other team were there pressing, and so that was also a factor. They didn't expect such an intense game, but we couldn't manage to take the win, and that's the main problem, I'd say.
Quickly, I wanted to quickly reference the injuries that Riccardo said. I just want to read quickly the bench of Juve this game. So they had McKennie, okay, really good player. But apart from him, it's Pinsoglio, Di Pardo, Dragusin, Frabotta, Fagioli, Raffia, Peters, Cepellini, Marquez, Ake, and Buffon.
You know what it sounds like? Do you remember on PES like 06 when you used to have the fake,
The fake
teams with
players.
fake names?
Bro,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
those players are gonna go to Genoa for 200 million in the summer. So.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And we
100%.
had also Danilo that was he got booked the previous match, and so he wasn't available, and so we had to play with 3 defenders, Alexandro, De Ligt, and Demiral. We didn't have another option.
All right, boys, we have a question from our viewer though. He says, well, he's saying something. He's not asking. He says Ronaldo's really earning every cent with his goals. Literally, Juve's savior. What you think?
Yeah. I think a couple of days ago, I saw a stat that said that Ronaldo scored. Like like he's the only one, but basically scoring for us. So like 20 goals, and I don't remember it right now. I'll go check it. But still, yeah, that's completely true, and that's one thing that as Juve, I think it's not. We should definitely try and do something about it, because we can't rely on a player. Like if you take Ronaldo away from Juve, guys, I'm quite worried about the team at this moment. Then obviously with Pirlo, there is a transition. But at the moment, Ronaldo is, as the comment said, literally the savior. So also the match against Crotone, sorry, last thing, we won 3-0, but he scored twice. So also in those matches.
I think Juve is the team in Serie A who's most dependent on a single player.
Unfortunately, yes.
Someone could have thought that. Well, I also initially thought that maybe Milan with Ibra, but I think Milan with Ibra is even more of a mentality thing, and it still applies even when he's not on the pitch. And we saw that at the start of the season when he was injured. So yeah, as Ricky said, Juve just needs to get probably Dybala back. I still think Dybala is one of the best players in the league, and yeah, also Arthur is really important for them.
All right, I've got a couple questions for you. Quick fire. Okay, 2. So first of all, Demiral and De Ligt, are they ready to hold up Juve defense? And then the second one is, what is Juve's weak spot? You got one place to point at. You just got to say, that's the weak spot. Don't make it a long one. Just, that's the weak spot. But Demiral and De Ligt, are they ready? First off, I'm going to ask Jonathan, and then I'm going to move on to you guys. Johnny, what you think?
Yeah, I think they could start getting some starts, and then maybe with enough experience they can keep on starting. I think there are 2 players who definitely have a talent, and they could definitely make it. And I think their weak spot is definitely midfield. Everybody has been saying it for ages now. I think the midfield is definitely Juve's most notable weak spot.
All right, Amy, what you think? Are they ready? And what's
Absolutely,
the weak spot?
I think they're the best centre-back pairing Juve has at this moment, because Bonucci has fallen off. Same with Chiellini. He gets injured too often. And quickly as well, the midfield. I think if you see the players, I don't think they bought a single one of them. They all either came for free or were exchanged. So I think that pretty much explains it, in my opinion.
Oh, wait, sorry if I interrupt, but Vixnox asks, ho sbagliato canale, non capisco nulla. No, it is still Radio Rossonera, but it's just the Serie A show with the Catenaccio Podcast.
Yeah, but tell him in Italian, sorry, otherwise how is he going to understand that?
Sei sempre su Radio Rossonera, però questo è il Catenaccio Podcast Serie A Show, in cui parliamo di Serie A in inglese, però con i nostri amici del team internazionale, diciamo. Vabbè, let's move on now. Amy, we already asked you. Luca, are they ready? And what's the weak spot?
Well, De Ligt is definitely ready. I mean, he brought Ajax to Champions League semi-final, so I don't know how anyone could argue that he's not ready for Serie A. Demiral, I think he's a great player. I also think he's ready. I think maybe what they're lacking is a bit of the leadership that Bonucci and Chiellini bring. They've been playing there for the past 10 years. Bonucci, let's ignore that 1 year that he came to us. But yeah, they're definitely ready. I think maybe one of them just needs to step up and take that real leadership role that Juve misses when Bonucci and Chiellini aren't playing.
And then Ricky, last, what do you think?
Regarding the defense, they're ready, especially De Ligt. Maybe Demiral is just a bit needs to learn a bit more, but they both have excellent teachers in Chiellini and Bonucci. And also we have Romero, which he's at Atalanta on a loan, so he's another option. Yeah. And regarding the weak spot, I agree with Johnny about the midfield. Unfortunately, it's our weak spot.
All right, we're going to move on, man, to the other games of the weekend. Sampdoria against Atalanta, a 2-0 win for Atalanta, as you would expect from Atalanta. Malinowski with an incredible goal and then goes in scoring what is it now? Well, how many goals does that guy have in Serie A? Someone look it up for me.
9, right? Oh,
He's
8?
got
9.
9 goals,
9.
which
I
is, I
thought 9
think,
as well, yeah.
just a couple less than Veretout and Kessie. Did you guys see that goal where Candreva was meant to mark him? He was looking at the stars or something. He was probably saw like some hot chick in the stands. He was like, and then Goza just went in and scored. But Malinowski, great goal. Apparently, during the Champions League game, there was a bit of trouble between Ilicic and Gasperini, where Ilicic wasn't playing that well and he was being a bit of a nuisance on the pitch to his teammates. And Gasperini was like, hey, you better think about playing. And he took him off after 30 minutes. By the way, I forgot to say, very good news, and I'd like Catenaccio a round of applause for this. Serie A has officially announced that next game, at the 13th minute for 13 seconds, we're going to show a Davide Astori picture in all of the stadiums. I think that's a very nice gesture from a Serie A.
Good to hear.
Lega Serie. It's very good to hear, and I'm happy. So, Atalanta, Sampdoria, not much to say. I was really, really sad. Not because I don't like them that much, but it was kind of sad to see them fail that way in Champions League. I think it was a red card. I don't think a lot of people can discuss that, but not sure. But still, it was kind of sad to see them lose like that to Real because they were playing quite well too, but that's how life goes. Then next game, Crotone against Cagliari. First win for Mr. Semplici with a 2-0 win against Crotone. Crotone, I think, missed about, 16 chances. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke how many chances they missed. Adam Unas, such a good player, honestly. I don't know how Cagliari just let him go like that. But
The Algerian Messi.
The Algerian Messi,
I was about to say that.
Messi. The Porridge is saying Unas is insane. I totally agree. The Algerian Messi is insane. Pavoletti back on the score sheet. João Pedro back on the score sheet. And Cagliari getting 3 points in. This was a very big relegation battle. And good old Amy is going to talk us through what it does to the table. Next game, Inter against Genoa. Amy's going to tell us about the game in a minute. Goals by Lukaku, Darmian, and Sanchez, which also sparks a little question, which we're going to talk about in a minute. You guys all know that the next AC Milan adversaries... Oh, by the way, someone just told me that we are, right now, the most popular Catenaccio podcast on Twitch, because apparently there's someone else called Catenaccio Podcast on Twitch on the same category, but we got to destroy them.
And they're live streaming right now?
And we're live streaming right now. They're like one place behind us. Also,
okay, I'm going to go report them.
Yeah, report them, please. Nah, just kidding.
Just
okay.
joking.
Anyway, I was saying goals by Lukaku, Sanchez, and Darmian, who, as you guys may know, are ex-Man United players. Man United are going to be AC Milan's adversaries in the Europa League, in the next round of Europa League. So, how is it that these three were so considered flops in the Prem, and now they come here? Lukaku is an absolute beast of a player. Sanchez is alright, and Darmian he's a pretty solid right back, but he's not a flop. He's not considered crap. So we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But first, Amy, tell us about this game. What happened?
Well, basically, we just did what we had to do. I was kind of disappointed we didn't close the game earlier in the first half because we had so many chances. Perin, he conceded 3 games, but he deserved maybe a 7 or an 8 as a grade. He was insane. He saved so many things. Even the goal on the shot on D'Ambrosio was ridiculous. But yeah, basically, we just took our chances at the end. I don't think the game was really... I don't think Genoa even had a shot on target. They barely got into our box. So, yeah, great performance. We did what we had to do.
Amy, I saw stats.
Have you also noticed how Genoa didn't have the best game? Sorry.
I saw a stat that in the past 3 Serie A seasons, both away and home games between Inter and Genoa always lost and they never score a goal. So,
well, I think Genoa's in the recent years has always been a, let's say, bottom tier team. Let's say. So I think it's normal, especially as we've progressed every year. You see us just taking care of the games more and more. I think I don't expect any different results from Inter Genoa, to be honest. The clean sheets are really good though, because that's what we struggled a lot early in the season. So props to the defense.
All right. Nicholas Beans, right? Genoa ass. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Genoa didn't put out the best team out there against Inter, but I don't think it matters how much. They have a derby next week, and I don't think it would have made a difference if they put the best team out there. But there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, Inter keep on leading in Serie A, and Luca put a little bet. He put a little wager up. He was.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna reiterate it now because maybe people aren't listening to the podcasts on Spreaker, but Inter's not losing a game until the end of the season. And I said it before the derby.
Not losing a game.
I think it's a brave statement. We're not playing Lazio anymore for the rest of the season, so who can we lose to?
I said it before the derby. I said if Inter wins the derby, they're not losing a game until the end of the season, and I still think that's going to happen. They might tie a few, but I think now they've got the ball rolling and yeah.
All right, before we go on to anything else, I'd like to remind everyone that you can sub with your Amazon Prime account, and you can also donate if you just write !donate and !prime. I will do that. But in the meantime, I want to go on to that thing that we were talking to with, I think, Amy, Lukaku, Sanchez, Darmian. Premier League flops and really good in Serie A. Why do you think that is? And why do you think they work so well for Inter? Go for it.
I think they, except for Lukaku's a different case. I think, especially Darmian and Sanchez, they accepted their roles. I think Sanchez, when he was bought by United, he was this top player, one of the best in the Premier League. I think they gave him 30 million a year. So he was bought to become this new top player at United and really carry them. And what happened was that Sanchez wasn't the same one. Maybe he lacked motivation. Maybe, I don't know, he didn't enjoy his time there. And he wasn't really that great. Also, we've seen him slowly reduce in performance, let's say, in the last 2-3 years. Last year, he's really good. This year, he's been decent, but not great. And Darmian, I think, he was playing as a left back, I think, at United. He changed with Luke Shaw, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe getting as a right wing back fits him better. I think when he played in Italy before, that's where he played. So maybe
last season at Parma. I think for the second half of the season.
A comment here says Sanchez wasn't a flop in the Prem. He carried out
exactly. He was a flop at United, I think.
He was a very big flop at United. Yeah.
At Arsenal, he was the furthest thing from a flop.
He was the best player in the league at Arsenal.
Yeah,
exactly. Kidding.
Yeah, but I mean,
what I mean United, especially for how much he was paid.
All right. Well, should we move on then to the next game, Udinese Fiorentina? Fiorentina, I don't have much to say. Look, honestly, at the start of the game, looked like they were playing. The Fiorentina players looked like they went down to player friendly in some way, but they were just abysmal. They were really bad. Ribery looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch. Vlahovic wasn't that good. And in general, there's just something not working at Fiorentina. Man. Milenkovic, the goal, the Nestorovsky header was just such a rookie mistake on it. I don't know. Like, the guy just went behind him, and it's just Fiorentina's being crap. I predicted Udinese win. We'll see the predictions later. Matias Cuarta is looking like a decent player, but apart from that, honestly, I'll ask a little question now. But apart from the fact that I know we're all disappointed by Fiorentina, but between these two teams, on paper, who's doing worse? Because even Udinese has, on paper, a pretty good team, I'd say, that has a lot of potential. What do you guys think, Luca?
Well, personally, I think you have to say Fiorentina is doing worse out of the two just because of the quality of the team. As you said, Udinese isn't terrible. You know, they have players like Deulofeu, Llorente, who are okay. Well, no, they're good players. But then Fiorentina, you know, they have, I don't know, for example, Ribery, Castrovilli, Vlahovic, who I personally don't love, but he's still a good striker.
Can I say something? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Before you continue, can we all have a little thingy? Okay, Vlahovic, is he a good player or not? Jonathan, yes or no? No, not explanation, just yes or no.
Yes.
Yes, Amy?
Yes.
I just want to... Ricky?
Yeah.
Okay, continue, Lucas. Sorry, I just wanted to read the room.
No, I think everyone knows he's a good player and he's talented. I was frustrated with him at the start of the season just because he wastes a lot of chances. And then I remember last season, for example, he misses 75 shots, scores one, and then he runs around the stadium shushing everyone and acting as if he won the Ballon d'Or. No, but yeah, Fiorentina for their squad, they are underperforming massively, and I'm sure Prandelli will get sacked at the end of the season, and something needs to change.
Okay, we're quick fire question again. Who would you like to see as manager? If the managers are available, who would you like, guys? Johnny?
So who would like at Fiorentina?
Yeah, who's a manager that you think?
Sarri for sure.
Yep. Amy?
Sarri or Spalletti.
Luca?
To be honest.
Yeah, same as Amy. Out of the two, I'd say probably Spalletti is better suited.
And then Ricky?
Yeah, same. I would say Sarri or Spalletti, but I think Sarri would be more interesting. Yeah,
I feel like Spalletti has a lower ceiling but a higher floor, if that can be said. I think with Sarri, you can really make the jump.
Wait. That was one of the most beautiful sentences ever said on the Catenaccio Podcast. Emiliano, congratulations.
A minute of silence.
Please.
A lower ceiling,
but a higher floor. Like I think if you get Spalletti, you're definitely getting like top 10. Like it's a move in the right direction, but he's not going to bring you top 4, top 6. I don't think he can push into European football. Instead, with Sarri, I think if very different scenario, but comparable kind of to Giampaolo. I think Giampaolo, if he's able to work like we saw at Sampdoria 2 years ago, it can work really, really well.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, it can just implode from within. And we saw what happened to Milan last year.
I
personally
have
I
a
don't
question.
think Oh yeah, go ahead.
I have a question to ask to you and also guys in the chat. Do you think that Sarri, maybe in 2 years at Fiorentina, he could reach Europa League?
That's why I said Sarri has a higher ceiling. I think with Sarri you can realistically push top 6. Let's say the top 4 is really
Who's
tight.
dropping out? I don't know. Like I feel maybe in the last like 5 years you could have said so, but now that Serie A has 4 Champions League spots, a lot more money coming in, I think the top 7 is going to be pretty much solidified for a long time.
Honestly, I think Lazio, if they don't start bringing in some players, they can really quickly drop out. Roma really doesn't convince me at all. And Atalanta, I don't know if Gasperini keeps on fighting with the players. I don't know if he's going to stay there.
Yeah, I guess Atalanta can drop out at any moment. I agree with that. You know, you never know when they're going to die off and go back to being the relegation team they used to be. So
Pinilla, Maxi Morales teams.
Yeah, no, Pinilla, hopefully not, because every time we played them, he would score a bicycle kick against us.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
No, but Roma, I think they're too big of a club to drop out of the top 7. Lazio, if they do lose Luis Alberto Milinkovic, then you never know.
All right. What's up? Go for it.
I feel like Sampi said, I think in 2 years, maybe. In 1 year, definitely not. I'm not saying Sarri's going to come and really change the team. Maybe 2 years.
In fact,
if they stick with him, I think it could happen.
Yeah, I said 2 years because obviously in 1 year it's impossible. It's very difficult.
All right, should we move on to the last 2 games of the weekend? The first one was Napoli against Benevento, 2-0 win. Guess who was back? Mertens. Guess who's back at winning? Napoli. Is Mertens, like, you know how we notice how a lot of the teams in Serie A do really well when they have like one bomber they can really rely on. So obviously Milan has Ibrahimovic, which is a bit of a I'm trying to getting into what we're gonna do later as well. So you guys look out for that. So Milan has Ibra, Inter has Lukaku, and Juve has Ronaldo. Is Mertens Napoli's big bomber? What you guys think?
Who's going first?
Amy, you go, because I always see you there about to say something.
I just want to say, I think Mertens is more of a, because there's a lack of good players up front. I think Petagna isn't a top 4 team, top 5 team player. I don't think you can start with Petagna. He could be a good sub. I don't think he can be your top scorer. And Osimhen hasn't performed. So yeah, I think Mertens is the best candidate for that.
For that bomber. Luca, what's up?
I think Insigne is Napoli's bomber rather than Mertens. He's the captain, number 10. He's the symbol of Napoli at the moment. No,
The
number 10,
unofficial
sorry.
number 10.
The unofficial,
Unofficial.
of course.
Yeah.
No, of course. Not literally number
Hey,
10.
ma allora meglio play. What are you?
Have to clarify that before I get attacked by Napoli fans. No, but Mertens is definitely an incredibly important player for the attack. And I think he's just there to kind of ease the transition of Osimhen. Yeah, as Kevin just said, it should have been Osimhen. I still think it will be Osimhen. You know, they invested 80 million into him. I still like him as a player. Just a matter of time. He needs to be healthy. He needs to be confident, and then they'll come.
All right, and then Ricky, what do you think? And then Johnny will go to you.
Yeah, I agree with what Luca said, but I think that, yeah, maybe Insigne is more Napoli's image, image player, but Mertens in terms of being the one that scores important goals and that acts as the, let's say, Ibra or Ronaldo for Juve. I think he's definitely the, let's say, bomber for Napoli, and also because he came back and he scored, and I had him against in my fantasy football, obviously, and so that's also.
The Porch then says here that Mertens hasn't scored much, and they are relying on Lozano, Insigne, and Zielinski. So he's disagreeing with us right now. And then that last name was.
But he's been injured.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been injured for so
that
long.
is true. That's why I was emphasizing the fact that he came back and we were back.
I think 2 years ago, Mertens in the season, not Serie A, but across all competitions, I think he scored like 35 goals.
Yeah.
So
and some incredible
when he is
ones as well. They
healthy,
weren't captains.
when he is healthy, he's definitely one of those players for Napoli. But he's at a certain age as well. You don't know, maybe with these injuries, he doesn't get back to his actual form.
Is he the best Napoli player after Higuain? Like after the Higuain era, let's say. So after he left. Johnny? Also, Johnny, we didn't
I'm
ask
trying
you.
to think who were the top
Well,
players.
maybe Koulibaly.
Maybe Pavoletti.
I think Insigne. I think Insigne is definitely the best.
Yeah.
And I'd say Koulibaly.
I personally
Koulibaly, I
believe
think.
Mertens was the best after. All right, man, I have another question. We mentioned
Mertens
this
is
name.
old, though. He's getting to that age, bro.
We mentioned this name. The Porge mentioned him. So
Mario Rui.
Mario Rui. All right, everyone say bye to Ricardo. This was his last episode. Congratulations. No, okay. Moving on seriously, bro. We mentioned his name, but Zielinski, is he very underrated? Because when we talk about the best midfielders in Italy, the good old Barellas, Luis Alberto, Milinkovic's, they all come up. But then I don't ever hear, not even in the top 7, Zielinski. I don't hear him talk about him enough. Apparently, the Poland coach was saying that he is like De Bruyne, but just because he's Polish, no one talks about him. I think it was that exaggerating, but I'd like to hear what you think. What's up?
I think he's a top quality player, and he could easily play in the top 3 teams. For example, I would see him in Juve's midfield easily. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I think I could see Scattarella in Juve's midfield right now. Sorry. Go on.
My point is, I think, he's probably underrated, but he's a very, very good player, technical. Recently, we can remember his goal against Atalanta. That was very good coordination. Yeah,
Cagliari had an incredible goal.
He's a top Serie A midfielder. Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with everything Ricky says. I'm quick.
Yeah, I think, as Ricky said, he could fit easily in the top 3. I think he would be perfect for our midfield as a Barella style player, where he can go forwards, backwards, shoot from far away. So yeah, he's really good. I think he had a really bad season last year, so that's why maybe he's a bit underrated. Yeah, but yeah, he's really good.
Johnny, where would you put him in the top of Serie A midfield?
I know that Luis Alberto considers Zielinski one of the best midfielders in Serie A. He made his own top 11 Serie A players without Lazio players, and he had Zielinski starting in the midfield. So
okay, fair
Alberto, and I always liked Zielinski, so I don't know. I put Zielinski up there. I put some top 5 behind the 2 Lazio goats. Behind Barella as well, he can be top 4, whatever. But
okay. All right, then we will move on to the last game of the weekend, and it is, for me, such a relief to finally win. and also to win in this way against Roma. Luca's going to talk us through this game in a minute, but all I'm going to say is that first half for Milan could have ended 3-0 for Milan, and it would have been just right. I think they would show that first half as how to play football properly in this for like football schools, and they would show how to not play football, showing what Roma did in the first half of the amount of balls lost. So we'll move to the slide.
Guardiola's Barca, and number 2, it's Pioli's Milan.
Pioli's Milan, yeah. I think Arda may have exaggerated a bit.
Hey, I'm telling you this: if you have no hair, you're a good manager.
Yeah, I don't like Klopp, so.
Fair enough.
Speaking of bald, Kevin says 3 punti, Martin Garrick Simola. Speaking of bald managers, I am really happy. Serse fucking Cosmi is coming back to Serie A after 9 years. The legend himself. This guy is, the thing from Fantastic Four? The orange guy. The orange guy from Fantastic Four.
Yes.
If that guy was a human, like directly when he transforms, that would be Serse Cosmi. Oh, I'm so happy to see.
Okay, Arda, start a fan club, and we'll get back to Milan.
Okay, go on.
If I can talk about the game. Now, as you said, first half was completely dominated by us. I think we could have scored more, should have scored more. Ibra
was way too arrogant.
Yeah, he was arrogant. I think you can concede the arrogance to someone like Ibra. So, of course, I'm pissed at him for missing that, but it's not a big deal. He created the opportunity himself, could have passed it back to Çalhanoğlu, and it would have been an easy goal. But whatever. At the end of the day, at the end of the first half, at the end of the first half, we get one of our usual penalties, which I'm not complaining. It was a clear penalty. I'm very happy about it. I hope we have 35 by the end of the season. Kessie top scorer. And Roma was bad. Roma was just bad. If I have to say, one player really saved himself, maybe two, Pau Lopez, other than giving away the second goal, but he still had some nice saves.
Yeah.
And then Veretout. Veretout, I heard it today. He's the first player since Platini French player to score more than 10 goals in Serie A. So
we're only have a 24th game.
No, exactly. Veretout is an incredible player.
Yeah.
Beautiful goal. And I won't go for too long. Yeah, so underrated. I don't even know if he gets called up to the French national team, right? I don't think he does. No. Okay, well, then again, they do have Kanté, Pogba, they have 1,000 midfield. Yeah. But he could definitely be a shout. And I'm not going to keep on going for too long. Just want to say very happy with the win. Rebic, wonderful performance. Tomori, great performance, but we'll discuss that in a bit.
Yep.
And hopefully we can. It was an incredibly important win. We had to win this, otherwise we were going to risk top 4. And yeah, I'll end there.
Now, I'd like to add to this. I was very happy, as I said before, of the way Milan played. I said in our little group chat as well, Theo Hernandez, some of the runs he went on, guys, were absolutely incredible. Some of the runs he went on were, I don't know how to describe them. Kessie, you could see Kessie was back. In the other games, he was like walking around. He wasn't doing much. This game, he was everywhere. In the 88th minute, he was still running away on the left side, dribbling and keeping the ball. I think that is the most underrated, like player return that was in Milan like this weekend. I think the fact that Kessie was back on top-notch form was the changing, like the real change. Also, I'm really happy with Tonali, Luca. I know we both are very big fans of Tonali.
Love Tonali.
Much before me, you were a big fan, but what did you think of his performance?
Tonali was wonderful. Then since you were talking about Kessie, I think I finally understood the Meite purchase. I think Pioli doesn't want him as a Kessie backup. He wants to put him in with Kessie, so the opposition midfield doesn't know which one to press, and they press.
I was thinking the exact same thing during the game.
They get confused. They press Meite instead of Kessie, and Kessie is open. It's genius.
I am not surprised that two idiots like you had the same thought. I am not surprised.
It's a Pioli masterclass. No, but jokes aside,
I just know Pioli well, bro.
Oh yeah, true.
All right.
No, but joke aside, Tonali was very good, and he needs to build up some confidence. I'm still incredibly happy that we bought him, and I love the lad.
All right, let's move on then to our big discussions of the day. Every week, every episode of the Catenaccio Podcast will be back on Thursday. We're gonna have a little discussion. We're gonna build these graphics as we did this week. This is kind of new to us, but I built this little discussion, and I'm gonna present, and I'd like to talk about this. Is playing against big teams Roma's kryptonite because they are up there in the league. But as we'll see in a minute with Emiliano's table, but against big teams, they are absolute crap. If you see there on our little graph I made, 0 wins against the big teams. They've played a total of 8 games. They only got 3 points because they lost to Juve away and drew at home. Drew to Milan away, even though it was a bit of a controversial game. They lost to us at home. Lost 4-0 to Napoli. Lost 4-1 to Atalanta. Drew 2-0 to Inter, which was good. And lost the derby 3-0 to Lazio. Johnny, give me a hip hip hooray.
Hip hip hooray, baby. But
anyway. So
my roommate is actually Romanista.
Your
roommate's a big Romanista. And
Yeah.
so I asked him about this. I said, well, why did it always lose against the big teams? What he told me is that's just for simply down to the quality of their squad. He believes their squad is worse than everyone above them. So are these 6 teams we have right here. However, he thinks it's a lot better than the ones below them. And that's why he thinks they always win against the ones below them and against the better ones.
That can't fully justify it, though. I mean, Spezia beat Milan. Spezia's team is worse than Milan. You could go on. Sampdoria beat Inter. Sampdoria's team is worse than Inter. Like, you'd expect that after 8 games, they at least pick up 1 point. Not a point, sorry, 1 win.
Yeah,
I feel like it's really the way they play against big teams. You could see it in the first half yesterday, especially. They really can't build up from the back.
Yeah,
then
the amount of mistakes they made.
They're really missing Dzeko up front. That's what they usually did. They just randomly kicked it up to him. He would make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And without him up front, if you can't build up from the back, you can't get results.
Yeah.
I was surprised he scored yesterday, to be honest. So
it was a really good goal.
It was a really good goal.
Yeah. One thing which I was thinking as well is if you look at the games, apart from maybe the Juve draw where they actually played well, all the other games, maybe the Milan draw as well, they got quite smashed by their team, like in terms of play. Against Inter as well, you'll remember, Amy, but the 2 goals were quite lucky. The first one was with a bounce off some.
And now he's trying one of his telekinesis saves.
And then the second was a header in the last, which was a foul, by the way.
I wanted to quickly touch up on that. I said it when we played Roma. I thought that was a foul. I think that's always a foul. And we saw a carbon copy yesterday night against Milan. In my opinion, that should always be a foul.
When you said that.
Go ahead.
I agree with you. No, exactly what you were saying yesterday when you mentioned it. I think yesterday's was a bit more clear than the Inter one. Yeah. I think he went a bit stronger, but still, I would say that Mancini's goal against Inter was a foul. So I agree with you.
I feel like that's why VAR is there. Like, that's the reason why VAR should be used.
Would you then say it's a clear error, though? Because that's how the regulation is right now. I don't know if it's a clear error. I mean,
if no one complains.
Okay, yeah. If you put,
I don't know.
I guess.
Of course, with the speed of the game, it's very quick. Maybe the ref didn't see it or anything, but
I think we talked about this a couple of times as well. On corner kicks, I think it's part of football. Refs always let people play off corners unless you touch the goalkeeper or you do something that's very clear. That usually they have a bit more leniency.
Speaking of refs, Ricky, what do you think about this Roma kryptonite stuff?
It's
just as a Juve fan, I was.
I think we're gonna bring up Orsato. I was about to stand up and clap.
Oh, should we bring up Orsato? We'll talk about that on Thursday.
3 years have passed and water under the bridge.
We'll talk about that on Thursday. Ricky, please do tell us what you think about Roma.
Yeah, I mean, it's seriously a problem for Roma. One thing I noticed is the blackouts they have in some games. For example, I remember, also against Atalanta, but specifically the Napoli and the Lazio game, like total blackouts. It looks like they didn't even show up. I remember also against the Inter, it was like the first half that they just didn't play and the Inter was playing or something like that. And do you want to say hi to?
Name. Yeah,
do you want to say hi to him?
Kiko Aglioni says Forza Milan.
Do we also have a bend over in the chat?
Is there a bend in the chat? Sorry, go on. Sam.
No, but these total blackouts, because I mean the draw they had against us and the first match against you, Milan guys. I mean, it's okay in a big match. But like I remember the Napoli game. Well, let's mention that that game was after Maradona's passing, so Napoli had to win, but still Napoli dominated. I remember seeing the game, and Roma was like,
they dominated when at the end of a game the ref gives extra time, but the Roma management said to cancel it. Apparently, that's a thing you can do where if there's an extra time and you're losing by a lot, you can ask for the game to just end because you don't want to be. Because apparently it was about to be 4 minutes or something.
I don't know why I thought you was going to say something like a joke.
I don't know. What if a team wins? What if a team is at the last day of the season and they need to win the league and they need to win 2-0 and they're winning 1-0 and the other team says to stop the match?
I don't know the rules, but I think it's like a gentleman's. I think it's a gentleman's agreement. Like you both sides have to agree. I don't think it's.
And then
also in a one-score game, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah,
like in a one goal, like
4-0
like
or something like that.
5-0, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, right. I should have been more precise.
Let's move on to the next. Before we move on to the next slide, I don't know if you guys heard about this. It's actually it came out in the news yesterday. But when Tomori got back home yesterday, he took out of his pockets his keys, his wallet, his phone, and then the whole of Roma's attack. Did you guys hear about that?
He copied Lukaku last week when he still has Romagnoli in his pocket actually from last week.
Yeah, Romagnoli didn't even leave. He came home with
exactly.
He's found a new loving home with Lukaku.
He's stuck in city life. He's in the towers.
Keiko asked, what do we think about the match against United? So we'll talk about that first, and then we'll get on to our defense dilemma. So, what do you guys think about the match against United? We didn't mention it, but Milan have 3 injured players. Rebic is fine, but apparently Çalhanoğlu is got a bit of a minor, but could be a bad injury. And Ibra is going to be
day-to-day, I think.
And then Ibra is going to be out for the first leg against Man United. So, do these injuries alter chances for Milan? And what do you think will happen? Jonathan, what do you predict is going to happen?
I think Milano has to go over and park the bus and pray it doesn't go too badly, because Milano's a team which depends on very few key players.
Sorry, since when do you call it Milano?
Milano.
No, call it Milan.
Milan, yeah, AC.
What is this?
There you go.
What is it?
Anyway, yeah. So I just hope Milan parks the bus well, because us Italians have been embarrassing ourselves in Europe. I don't want too many excuses, but to be honest, Lazio got the best team in Europe, so you can't really blame us. But yeah,
I don't know. I think if you go park the bus at Old Trafford and you have Rashford, Martial, Bruno Fernandes, and Greenwood running at you, I don't think it's going to end well. So I think you have to go there and you have to at least try to play the match, because, just Bruno. Bruno against... Well, actually, yeah, we'll see Bruno against Kessie.
Bruno hasn't scored. Apparently, Bruno hasn't scored apart from a penalty against the Big Six in the Prem, I read today. Bruno against the Big Six hasn't been doing well. Maybe it will be the penalty game. It will be... I saw a meme the other day.
Bruno against Kessie.
It's going to end 10-all and just penalties. Bruno against Kessie. And then Ibra will decide to step up and score one when he'll shoot it up in the stars. Okay, let's get on to our actual discussion then. Tomori against Romagnoli. So this has been going on for a while, but Romagnoli was the starter also because he is a good player and because he is the captain of AC Milan. But his recent performances have been creating a debate as to whether he should be dropped for a player like Tomori who's been playing better. So I think in the derby, it was not as easy to drop him because it's obviously the derby and he's the captain. It would create a bit of problems. Against Roma, Pioli took a big stand and he took a big leap and said, you know what, I'm going to drop Romagnoli and put Tomori in. And I think that has paid off because Tomori had a very good game. There was a point where Veretout was going on goal and he caught up to him with speed. Romagnoli would have never caught up to him. Never in a lifetime. So the question is, guys, Tomori, Romagnoli. Should Romagnoli be dropped? Or should Romagnoli be dropped just for a bit and eventually he'll just take that place back because he is the captain? I'd like to start from Luca because he is our other AC Milan fan. And then we'll move on to the others. What do you guys think?
I think
the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves, but the numbers also are a very small sample size, at least if we talk about Tomori.
Yeah.
It's been 3 starts against Bologna, Crotone, and then of course Roma, which is very impressive. But still, you need to see Tomori on a longer term. I think it depends on something that we don't personally know, and that's whether or not we have an intention of buying him at the end of the season. Because Romagnoli is our captain. Romagnoli has been with us for a lot of years, and for that reason, I still think he's the priority. I don't think he's a bad defender. I think he does suffer a lot in certain situations, like versus very quick players and physical players like Lukaku. However, we need to build this confidence back. You can't drop him and not play him until the end of the season, playing Tomori, and then who knows, maybe you don't buy Tomori at the end of the season.
Especially because the Euros are coming up.
Exactly, Euros are coming. Romagnoli needs to get a place in the national team. And what are you going to do? You're going to play Tomori till the end of the season. Maybe he gets a couple better performances in than what Romagnoli would have done. But then he goes back to Chelsea, and all you did was just develop a player for free. So I think Romagnoli is still the priority. And other than he had a terrible game versus Sparta and a terrible game versus Inter. Other than that, I think he's been solid, and I think he should still be the starter.
Yeah. Amy, as the boy from your side of Milan, what do you think?
I have to admit,
before you answer, Kekko says, Romagnoli needs a little bench. It is no longer what it used to be. Tomori is monstrous.
No, yeah, that's true. I think a bit of bench for Romagnoli is just going to do him good. It's just going to be a wake-up call. He can rest a bit.
Keep him humble as well, I think.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, I still think he's the starter.
Sorry, Amy, go on.
I have to admit, I've been a Romagnoli hater. Because since the comparison between him and Skriniar started, I thought that it wasn't really a competition back then. I don't think it still is now.
Romagnoli was much better.
Of course. That's exactly what I meant. But no, I think you can't bench Romagnoli. Let's be real. I think Tomori...
You're saying that because you want to win the league.
I honestly think you're going to buy him. I don't think you're going to make the same mistake as Bakayoko. You're actually going to purchase him because he seems really, really good. Romagnoli, at the end of the day, I think you have three, maybe 4 center backs if you count Kalulu. So you can't play all season with only 2. So Romagnoli is obviously going to play and start a lot of games. Just, I would like to see Romagnoli and Tomori maybe play together. I don't know, is Tomori left-footed?
No.
Okay. I'd like to see maybe Romagnoli and Tomori, maybe like change it up a bit. But of course, you can't just bench Romagnoli forever.
You know what the problem is, Amy, as well? Kier plays better with Tomori for some reason. You could just see him. He's safer.
Tomori is faster. I think that's what the problem is.
That's why what
you think he feels more confident.
Yeah, I think so. I think he
Johnny,
covers
what do you
Kier's
think? Johnny, do you want to tell us what you think about this debate?
Yeah, I think Tomori just balances with Kier a lot better because Kier and Romagnoli are more similar than Tomori and Kier. And you can definitely see Kier is a better defender between him and Romagnoli. So I think Tomori and Kier is a good pairing for now, as long as they keep up the clean sheets. Once it stops working, you can bring Romagnoli back to the team. I definitely think Milan should start Tomori as much as they can right now because he seems to be better and they need points for the top 4. Like they need to get top 4 no matter what.
So the question is, well, Ricky, please go on as well, and then I'll ask another question about this. What's up?
Yeah, actually, I just have to say I agree with what you guys all said. I just wanted to add, it's a difficult situation because you have to consider also the human aspect. Romagnoli being the captain and that kind of figure, you can't just drop him from one day to another. But certainly on a technical level or point of view, it looks like Tomori is better. But you have to manage also the human aspect and consider that he's the captain. So.
And then the other question was then, guys, what are we going to do for the Europa League? Who's going to start? Because obviously,
Tomorrow, I think that's a game
whoever's going to start in the league is probably not going to start in Europa League. So what do you think is going to happen?
I think Tomori has to start for sure. If you're playing against Manchester United, I think Tomori knows the Premier League. He knows English teams. And I don't want to see Rashford against Romagnoli. I have nightmares of Rashford against Romagnoli.
Yeah, I was about to say Romagnoli against people like was it Greenwood, Rashford, those guys? It could end quite badly. But yeah, what do you think, Ricky? Who would you like to see in Europa League?
Yeah, absolutely. Against United, Tomori, 100%. He's English. He's played in the Premier League. What other player could best try to defend against players like Rashford and company? Absolutely, Tomori.
Amy?
Yep, Tomori, clearly Romagnoli, I don't think he can handle pacey players.
Yeah.
And that's
But
what
that would
United
mean
is.
but that would mean that then Romagnoli would have to start in the league.
Yeah, against Napoli and against Fiorentina.
I think he could do well.
Those are the games I like in between.
I think he could do well against Napoli. I think
he always does well against Napoli. He actually scored quite a few goals against Napoli, except that one game where I remember he tried to save the ball with his hands and got sent off or some shit like 3 years ago.
It still went in.
Yeah. Other than that, we'll put that aside. I think Romagnoli always plays well against Napoli and Fiorentina. He scored against Fiorentina at the start of the season, so those are games where I'm very confident in playing him.
You remember that when he went like that?
Oh, I thought you were telling me to shut up.
No, I was doing Romagnoli celebration.
I thought you were saying I'm talking too much.
No. Romagnoli, when he scored against Fiorentina, he just went like that. All right, should we move on then to our next segment, which is always looking at the league standings and what has changed. Amy, talk us through what happened, what's important and what is not, taking into consideration especially the relegation battle on the right side of the table. Go on.
Absolutely. I'll go very quickly through this. No changes in the top three, actually. Juve still with that game in hand, but it's Inter at 56, Milan at 52, and then Juve at 46, sorry. Atalanta is same point with Juve. They're gaining one position, overtaking Roma with their loss against Milan. Roma drops one position. Now they have 44 points. Napoli gaining one position over Lazio with their loss against Bologna. They were both tied at 43, although Napoli has one game in hand. Then it's another. We always talk about this every week. The gap. It's Sassuolo at 35 points. Of course, they also have a game in hand against Torino, so that might be a win. We don't know how that's going to go, especially who's going to play if Torino brings their first team, B team. No one knows what's going to happen.
True.
Then it's tied with same points. Of course, one more game. It's Hellas Verona tying with Juve really helped them in that. Then it's Samp with 30. Bologna and Udinese both gaining one position, and they're both tied at 28. Wait, I think the table is... Oh, no, never mind. Then it's Genoa losing two positions with a loss against us. They are at 26. Spezia, they have 25 points, gaining two positions. I almost said Spal again. That's a throwback from a few episodes back.
It's just a little throwback.
It took me a second. Then it's Fiorentina, 25 as well, dropping one position, and Benevento doing the same thing, 25 points, one position dropped. And then the the bottom four, unfortunately, hasn't changed in maybe 3-4 weeks. It's Torino with 20, of course. They still have a game in hand. Again, no one knows how that's going to end. Yeah. Cagliari really disappointed. We say this every week, basically, 18 points. Parma with 15 and Crotone last with 12. I think they just fired their manager, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Crotone, and they got a good old...
I don't know what they expect, to be honest. But
sorry, I will interrupt you just 1 second. We'll talk about the table. But we have a question still on the debate from before, from Nicholas Beans. He said, so the tough decision isn't to start Tomori and bench Romagnoli, but rather it is to start Tomori and bench the captain. So he's saying, I think what he means is that it's not important that it's Romagnoli as a player, but the fact that he is the captain. And he's asking us, would you bench him without hesitation if he wasn't the captain? I'll answer personally. I think if you're the captain, you realize yourself when it's time to get benched. And for the good of a team, you would nearly encourage it yourself. That's my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Sorry, Nicholas, for not answering your question before.
I just wanted to...
Yeah, go ahead, Amy. No, it's okay.
You go. Because
I think if I answer directly to Nicholas's question, is that yes, it's between Tomori or the captain, not really Tomori or Romagnoli. But at the same time, I wouldn't bench him. I wouldn't bench him without hesitation if he wasn't the captain, because Romagnoli's still been with us for 5 years now, since he came from Samp. and he's still one of our best defenders. So it's not just about that. It's about having 2 bad games and not making a rash decision just because you have an option right there that's very tempting. I think you still need to have faith in him because every player eventually has a bit of what was that, Amy? 6 years? Okay, yeah. So that's my opinion.
Ricky, what do you think?
Not much to say. Actually, the comment slash question is what I said before, the fact that you have to manage the human aspect and consider he's the captain. As Luca said, Romagnoli still, you can't just bench him, even not considering him as the captain because he's a good player. But yeah, it's definitely a decision, and he's the captain, so that's an issue.
There's also the other question from
from Kevin.
No, the one before from Kekko.
From Kekko, what do you think? Oh, okay, so he says, what do you think of Tomori's ransom? I think he means like how much we would pay Tomori. What would you value him at? Would you do the same at 28 million, or would you try to lower it to example 20, 22? I'm not sure. Will you guys please look up this for me? I don't know if it's fixed what Chelsea is demanding from us, or whether it's negotiable. Because I know for Brahim Diaz it's negotiable.
I believe it's an option to buy. So
at 30,
of course,
I think it was.
Of course,
28.
28, but of course, when it's option, you can always negotiate. But I don't think.
Yeah, because Brahim doesn't have an option at all. Brahim is a dry loan, but Real Madrid kind of gave us a gentleman's agreement saying if you guys want him at the end of the season, we'll negotiate in good faith. Tomori, it's 28 million fixed. You can negotiate, but even if we weren't able to get it lower, I would pay 28 million for him. Just because I think he's one of those players that the Premier League, they spend a crazy amount of money on English players, right? So you can buy him at 28 million, and if he has a couple of good seasons, you can sell him back to the Premier League for 50 million easy. So
easy.
I think if he has a good rest of the season and we believe in him, and I trust Maldini to make that decision because who knows defenders better than him, then I think it's a great investment, yeah.
And then the last question we have is, it's better to have 3 center... Well, it's not a question, it's a statement. It's better to have 3 center-backs rather than 2, unless you sit on the bench from time to time as Shaqiri. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I think it's always better to have more. Right, sorry. Let's move on to the table, guys. So we were saying there's a couple changes here and there. The games at hand could really change the table up because if Juve win, they'd go to 49, which is -3 from Milan, so a slip-up could be fatal for us. Atalanta back in 4th place, Napoli back in 6th. We could be in some interesting things. Now, looking at what's happening on the right side of the table, who do we think is still going down? So I'm going to say, and I think everyone's going to agree with me, Crotone is going down. But Cagliari winning against Crotone, Semplice coming in. Could this be the change of something? So, who do you guys think are the other 2 apart from Crotone still going down? I'm going to say mine. I think Parma is 100% going down. I wouldn't even not bet on it. Actually, I'd bet a lot of money on it. And then the third one is a bit of an incognita, as we'd say in Italian. I think if Benevento don't start watching their backs, they're a team that could potentially fall. Because Inzaghi doesn't convince me that much as a manager. I thought they were doing very well. They are, to be fair. They got 25 points. But that side of the table is looking pretty neat right now, especially with Cagliari. If Cagliari, with the team they have, with new acquisitions, if they really start getting the ball rolling, they could start flying away from there. So first off, I'll go to Jonathan. Jonathan, two teams, very, very quickly, just the names. Who do you think is going down apart from Crotone?
Parma, and which is difficult.
Take into consideration, Torino is risking it. Yeah. Torino also has all these COVID problems, which could, we've seen that.
True.
COVID,
maybe.
COVID, they play badly for a long time.
I just don't think Cagliari is going down. Their team's way too good.
So you said Parma and?
Torino, I guess, but also Benevento. I don't know. I think it's an open race.
Amy, who do you think? Who would you put your money on?
I agree with Crotone, of course, then Parma, and I think Torino, because as you also mentioned, COVID, but also how is their schedule going to look when they all come back? Are they going to play a game every 3 days? Like, I don't think they have the team to keep up with that pace. Also surprising, real quick, Benevento, they were 10th like a month ago.
Yeah.
Or a month and a half
This
ago.
is a kind of cool but not cool thing about the right side of the table is this, that honestly, two games can make such a difference to the right side of the table. But at the same time, one thing I don't like, which I saw with Udinese and Fiorentina, is that there's a certain comfort zone where teams which are not going to get into Europe and are not going to get relegated, and they start playing really boring football because they're like, why should I put the effort in? I'm not going to get relegated. I'm not getting into Europe. The money is basically the same. What am I doing?
Sassuolo is at that point, but they're really getting a gap to Lazio. I think they're not. Of course, they're not going to go down, but
yeah,
who knows?
What do you think of Fiorentina? Do you think they could be doing down, Amy? Because I know you're a big you're a realist of our group. What do you think?
I don't think. I think their team, as we've said before, is too good. I think their biggest problem is whether Ribéry decides to play or not. I think he's really annoyed with how the situation is managed.
He was meant to leave, wasn't he?
Yeah, I heard he really wants to go back to the Bundes, or just leave in general because the situation has been. He definitely didn't expect this when he joined.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Luca, what do you think? Quickly, which two teams are going down?
Parma and either Benevento or Spezia, and it wouldn't surprise me if at the end of the season it was Benevento and Spezia. Because, as I've always said, in Italy, I think there's certain teams who just don't get relegated. And I think Cagliari, Torino are in kind of that situation like Genoa and Fiore have been in the past couple of years, that they just save themselves at the end of the season. Parma, however, I think they really are risking, so they could definitely go down.
Man, Ricky will ask you, who do you think is actually going down?
Yeah, actually, Luca there anticipated me with what I was going to say. So obviously Crotone, Parma, then either Benevento or Spezia, just because they just got up from the Serie B, and maybe they have the lack of experience. The teams like Cagliari or Torino that are already a couple of years in Serie A have, and so yeah, basically Luca's analysis. Totally agree.
Okie dokie. So we got our little analyses in. Now we'll move on to our next segment of the week, guys. I think it is now. Yes, it should be the team of the week, which is one of our favorite segments. It's where you guys get involved as well, and it's where we all together get in and we all vote on which players are going to make our team of the week. This week was quite an interesting one. So this is our wow, this is not meant to be like this, but it's fine. So goalkeeper, I'm going to go for Skorupski, and I think everyone's going to agree, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Special mention,
I agree.
I think, to Paul Lopez, as we mentioned before.
And Cragno as well.
Okay, so Skorupski is in our...
Yeah,
Cragno as well, had a pretty good game.
Yeah, Skorupski, one of the best penalty savers in the league, I think, with Andanovic beforehand. Yeah, Andanovic used to be the best by far. I think he kind of went downhill a bit, and Skorupski is definitely one of the best.
He's developing telekinesis. That's why he stopped.
Eko is asking, do you think it is possible for Inter to draw with Parma and lose against Atalanta? Obviously, hoping that we continue play as we did with Roma. So I assume he's a Milan fan. Keiko, we're going to talk about predictions in our last segment of the show. But I personally think, I'm the same line as Luca here a bit, but I think Inter will rarely lose from now on. And if they do, it's because either something's happened to them physically, maybe, I don't know, which is impossible because they have no other competition, or so the other team just outclasses them. Okay, but let's get to the center backs. I think the first one's got to be the back line. First one's got to be Gozens, guys. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Then get some energy in here. Who else do we want to put in there, guys?
Maybe
Tomori. Yeah, Tomori was also man of the match. He was man of the match, so I think he deserves it.
Tomori, Davey. I would have given it to Kessie, honestly, but doesn't matter. Fikayo Tomori gets in our team of the week. Guys, chat, what do you think? Center back, who else should we have a back line of our team of the week, guys?
Godin, maybe.
Yeah, he played really well.
Yeah, I think
Romero as well played really well.
Godin,
I think we already have an Atalanta defender, so maybe
okay,
we'll put Godin in, yeah. Man, middle of the park, who are we going to put, guys? I would put Zielinski personally, because I really Like them against.
Wait, Ardev, I'll
What
just
else go
mention
for the
real
game?
quick. If I could just mention real quick that the chat is timing out some people automatically. So Ketko just got timed out for I don't really understand why. So sorry about that. We didn't do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You'll be back in 30 seconds.
You'll be back in 30 seconds. Guys, it's usually when you spam with caps locks or if you write the same message too many times, it will do that. Stream Elements is a bit of a buggy system that we have to resolve here at Radio Rossonera, and I'll talk to them when I get to the office, guys. But let's move on with a team of the week, guys. Centre mids, middle of the park. Seba Cogliatti says, come fatto non mettere Romero? We said, Seba, that we didn't put Romero because we already have Gozins, and I think it would be unfair because we had Romero a couple of times before in our teams of a week. It's not the first time he is.
Yeah, if you want, we could put Gozins left mid and put Romero in.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Come on, let's do that. We'll put him left mid, so we go Gozins. So now we have 2 Gozins. In the meantime, guys, tell me another midfielder for that we'd like to put in.
Well, Veretout, absolutely.
Wait, I'm looking for Christian.
Yeah, Veretout.
Veretout
also played well, but I don't know if
Veretout
it's...
was the only Roma player. He was literally holding up the whole Roma like morale as well, I think. Honestly.
Maybe one of Luca's favorite players, Barak.
Barak.
Actually, incredible reform.
I agree, but I would like also to maybe just special mention to Lazovic instead, because Barak started in the starting 11. Lazovic was subbed in, and then he got the assist for Barak, and then he also So maybe just a special mention, but
I would put Kessie next. Anybody else agree with me?
I don't know.
He was good. I don't think it was a team of the week performance.
Malinovsky for the goal.
Malinovsky with an incredible strike. I thought we were gonna put him up top, but yeah.
Too many Atalanta players, in my opinion, maybe.
But they deserve it.
Guys, if we want a win, since we put Gozins on the left, if we want another wing back, maybe Darmian.
I'd put Darmian.
Yeah.
True. Inter played really well.
And Darmian, he could have scored too.
So,
he also, in the first half, he had that chip. That was really nice.
Yeah. I was expecting him to score that one. Okay, then let's get to front line, guys. Can I say this one, please? I'm so happy for him. Yazzie has to be right, guys.
I was about to say the same. He has to be on it.
Yazzie, then Immobile for missing a penalty. He's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Johnny absolutely loves him. Apart from that, guys, we would like to, I think, special mention for the midfield. I think Amy was mentioning him to our private chat. Zielinski, I would have put him in personally instead of another.
We could put
player
it like Darmian and put Lukaku up top, maybe.
No, I think Lukaku's been there too many times. Darmian could be there because Darmian had some big shoes to fill in Hakimi's shoes, by the way. Oh, I like this by Nicholas Beans. He says, Coach of the Week. I give it to Semplici for winning with Cagliari away to Crotone.
For beating Crotone.
Yeah, but it's his first game.
Bro,
he just came in. He just came in.
Yeah, but that's the honeymoon phase. So. I think it's easier for managers to win in the first games. They always do.
Bro, what are you on about? I swear,
that's true. Amy always talks about it as well. The honeymoon phase.
Reno's debut for us was the Benevento draw. I swear.
And the Marco Giampaolo,
Rino Gattuso is in Zidane. He's not a great
manager.
All
right. Well, who would you say is the coach of the week then? Pioli. You'd probably say Pioli.
Mihailovic.
I'm a bit biased, but yeah.
Mihailovic and Pioli.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you, by the way, Nicholas, for the suggestion. All right, up top, I think Rebic has to be there, guys.
Yeah.
Rebic.
You're
about to say something. Keko is very adamant on Rebic being there, so at least we'll make him happy.
He has to be there. He played.
He was incredible.
Maybe Sansone.
Pavoletti.
I'd say we need someone. I'd put Mertens in just because he was quite good.
Yeah, he came back. So and scored.
Are we all in agreement, Mertens?
Yeah, let's see what chat thinks.
Sure.
And obviously Lukaku should every week.
True, maybe Lukaku instead of Mertens.
Lukaku is always there. We'll special mention it.
But
he's always there. Yeah, but okay.
I think we had Milikovic in there for like 2 months in a row. So
yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put my foot down here. But our team of week for Catenaccio and chat team of week for this game day was Skorupski in goal for saving a penalty. Tomori, man of the match against Roma, and he has to be there. Romero, again, solid game against Sampdoria. Godin finally getting his Cagliari side to a win. Cousins, another goal, another day. Barak scoring as well and had a pretty good performance. Veretout was the real carry for Roma, morally, mentally, and on the pitch as well. And then Darmian is there as well for scoring. It's sorry by the way if I wrote in caps lock, guys. But then up top we have Gezi for scoring a brace, Rebic for scoring, and really carrying Milan as well. And then Mertens for coming back and showing by what a true leader he is for Napoli. By the way, to the Catenaccio boys, I wrote them in our chat in caps lock. I didn't mean to. By the way, we don't have a time limit. We can stay here all night. It's a podcast.
Can I just mention something?
Yeah. What's up?
Since we were talking about the strikers for this week.
Yeah.
At the start, when I was talking about the LS Juve game, I mentioned the stat about Ronaldo that I didn't remember. I found it out. I won't tell you my source, Juventus Instagram, but and the stat was that he scored 47 goals in his last 47 Serie A games. So
not bad.
As an evidence of how much he's good and how much we rely on him. Yeah, just that.
All right. I'm going to close this now so you can see our beautiful faces for just literally a second. So we're going to move on to the next segment of our podcast, which is new. And I'm really excited for this, and it's coming. It's going to be Start, Bench, and Sell. This is our new segment where we're going to play that game that you could play in the elementary school, middle school, where you choose. The thing used to be with girls where the wording would be different, but we can't say it right now because we're not.
Bro, you were playing that shit in elementary school?
No, I swear no. Okay, Start, Bench, Sell. So this is what our people from the Catenaccio Podcast said beforehand. We're gonna discuss this. So start. Luca, me, Sampi, and Emiliano. Also, by the way, chat, get involved in this without being.
Seba's gonna block us. I want to understand why he's going to block us.
Seba says, no raga, vi blocco. Well, Seba, you can suck.
Chi ha messo Sell Gigio. Okay.
All right, you can see the names.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Okay, so Luca, me, Sampi, and Amy all said that Gigio should be starting in our ideal lineup. But Jonathan,
but Kekko asked for, I think, the fifth time. Is it possible for you that Inter draws with Parma and losing against Atalanta?
I personally said no.
Let's give him a response.
I feel like Parma, no. Atalanta, yes.
Yeah, I think Atalanta is possible.
Atalanta, if they're on their day.
If they do well against Real, and they're full of rage, yeah, for sure.
I'm interested. How's the timing with that? Are they playing the week before against Real, or are they week after?
I think so. Someone look it up, please.
Never mind. They still have to play Spezia after, so no. Ignore me.
Yeah. All right,
I'll explain my decision to sell Donnarumma. So basically,
no. Start off by
no.
Johnny. Start off by telling us why out of a free you would start Nanovic, because there's Szczesny in this as well. We'll talk about them.
Yeah. Okay. Look,
why would you start Nanovic?
I'm looking at all of this in the short term, and
I'll get some
probably the
stats
best stuff. Handanovic, I think in the short term is definitely the one you want to start here because in terms of raw ability, he's up there, and he's better than Szczesny. And the reason why I said sell Donnarumma, I'm going to say it now because there's some commotion about it, is because if you sell Handanovic, you'll make nothing. His contract, I don't know how much years are left. He's old. Szczesny, I think he'd probably get only 20 million of selling, or not that much, not anything worth anyway, considering Paul Lopez was sold for like 25 million euros. And Donnarumma is the only one of the three who actually sells for some value, so that's why I put him for sell. Because the point of selling over two goalies.
Mentality. You're a Lazio fan. Lotito contaminated you. You only think about profit. Selling those players, getting rid of them.
I've got some stats up here in front of me. So, goalkeeping Handanovic. So he's got 24 appearances. He has 61 saves, 9 clean sheets. He's conceded 24, saved a penalty, and conceded 3 penalties. So I'm looking here. He's got quite good passing accuracy and whatnot. But then if we look at Donnarumma. Donnarumma has 69 saves, so he's got 8 more, which is not that much. He's got 8 clean sheets, which is 1 less, and he's conceded 26 and saved a penalty and conceded 2. So the stats are quite similar, Johnny. So I don't know what this thing about the one thing's for sure, the pass accuracy is so different because Andanovic has 606 total passes with 510 accurate ones, which is an accuracy of 84.2%, whilst Donnarumma has an accuracy of 75.2% for nearly the same amount of passes. He's got 660. So if you were to create a build-up play from a back, Andanovic would be more reliable. But Johnny, hearing these stats, and I'm going to get Szczesny's up as well when I know how to spell his name. What do you think of this statement you made? Is there anything you would change, or are you still, there? Are you still thinking about it that way?
I don't know. I mean, Donnarumma definitely has the highest ceiling of all the keepers. However, maybe I don't know. I just think you'd make so much money selling him as a high contract. He's definitely the best with free, but I just think money is money at the end of the day, and
all right, we'll get to the next.
Important.
We'll get to the next section, which is the bench. Which this is a bit more interesting because it's got a lot of different answers. So Luca and Sampi said that they'd rather bench Handanovic, whilst me, Johnny, and Emiliano all said that we would bench Szczesny as our second goalkeeper. Luca and Sampi, we'll go with Luca first. How come Handanovic and not Szczesny? Apart from the stats, which I will come up with now, Szczesny only has 4 clean sheets and he's conceded 18 goals. So in terms of stats, he's conceded less goals, but at the same time, he has many. He's got 5 clean sheets less. So how come you're going with him? You're going with Handanovic.
My answer isn't about. It's not based on skill. It's. I think I'm taking a bit of the Lotito mentality from Johnny, just because you do need to consider money at a certain point. I wouldn't consider money to a point where I would sell Gigio, but if it's between selling Andanovic for 2 million and selling Szczesny for 20, then I think it's better to sell Szczesny, especially because he's wasted on the bench. Andanovic is relatively old. He's not going to be too good in a couple of years, so I think at that point, just keep him on the bench, sell Szczesny, and get some money off of him.
All right, man. Sampi, you are a Juve fan, obviously. So how come you don't want to you wouldn't bench your keeper, but you'd rather bench the Inter Milan keeper? What's up with that?
Yeah, basically, same as what Luca said. Then also, I would add that we have to think about this, not just putting first best player, second best player. Otherwise, it would be like a grade 6 activity. But we have to, it's interesting to consider also other things, in my opinion. And so I think that, yeah, absolutely, Szczesny benched would be wasted, and selling him instead of Handanovic can bring interesting money. And overall, I think that the best, let's say, pair to have as a starting goalkeeper and a second goalkeeper would be first, someone like Donnarumma, which is basically a predestinato, we say in Italian. And secondly, a goalkeeper which has experience, which, in a way, we see Juve with Szczesny, Buffon. We can argue that also Lazio had wanted to try that technique with Strakosha and Reina as a second. So I think that the second has to be an experienced goalkeeper that it's not wasted on the bench, but can contribute when he's starting he's in the starting 11.
Chat, I'd like to know from you guys, what's your opinion? Who would you put in that order? Man, I've got a little quote for you guys. So Szczesny at some point said, when I played at Roma, Alisson used to be in my bench. And then he went to Liverpool, he was considered the best goalkeeper in the world. And then when he went to Juve, Buffon was on the bench. So he said, and he's the best goalkeeper in history, he says. So he says, I must be the best goalkeeper in history too. Because he goes, I don't think I said that well, but he says, if I'm mentioning Buffon and Alisson, I absolutely butchered that. He says, if I'm mentioning Alisson and Buffon, I must be the best ever. But I don't know. You know what it is about Szczesny that I like more than Handanovic? I don't know why, but Szczesny gives me more of a leader vibe, even though Handanovic is the captain for Inter. And I'd like to know more about this from Amy, especially. I mean, from Ricky as well, because we're fans. Who's more of a leader, do you think? Szczesny or Handanovic? Because that is also important for who I'm benching or not. Amy?
For mine,
Amy was just crying in our chat saying, "No one asked my opinion." What a little bitch. Go on.
Now, I basically wanted to say that I took money a little bit less into account, and I was thinking more as if you have these three keepers and you need to take two, and you just take if you have to take two of them, and one starts, one is on the bench, of course. I think Andanovic in the long term, he can't keep this level of high play up. I think he has maybe 3 years max left in him. And Szczesny, I think I said it at the beginning of the year. Now my opinion has changed a bit, but I thought Szczesny was the best keeper in the league actually. So keeping him on the bench is a fair choice. And then starting Donnarumma, we all know why. With your leadership question, I think Andanovic slightly edges Szczesny, mainly because of course he's captain of for now the first team in the league, and although
he's captain for now, or the team is going to be for now first?
No, the team is for now first. For now, I'm not
For
saying
now, Inter already won the Scudetto.
Even Barella, no, but George said apparently Barella is going to become captain next year. Did you hear about
that? I don't want to see the armband stripped from Andanovic, but if he does start getting benched more, of course, Barella is for me. Maybe Barella and Skriniar.
He's a natural heir to the. He's a natural heir to the armband.
This year, when Handanovic was out, I think Brozovic. Sorry, I think it was last year. Brozovic became captain.
Yeah. Brozovic, I remember.
All right, then we'll move on to the last part. Well, we kind of talked about it, but I said that we should sell Handanovic. Amy said that we should sell Handanovic. Sampi and Luca said Szczesny, and then Johnny Sonny said Donnarumma. We'll get to the next one. This is going to be a more controversial one, so chat, I want you really going for it. Start, bench, sell for the strikers. So, Jonathan, Sampi, and Emiliano all three said start Ronaldo. Luca and I said start Lukaku. Probably because Luca and I suffered so much from Lukaku in the last derby. We'd rather have him on our side this time.
I know Seba's already going to be pissed in the chat. I'm waiting for what he says. Yeah.
I wonder. Okay.
No, okay, CJ.
In my defense, I said I took money less into account. Of course, if you're taking money, you'd probably sell Lukaku.
I personally think the money thing should I think this should be interpreted as who's the best, who am I willing to not see as much but I still want, and who am I ready to sacrifice over free. That's more of it. More not I'm going to calculate how much money you're going to get. But look at the opinions now. So, Luca, how come you put Lukaku and not Ronaldo? I mean, I'll ask those for you. Why they put him?
Lukaku and not Ronaldo, just because, Ronaldo is the second best player in history. That's a whole another discussion. But first of all, I just want to pay my respects to the man. But Lukaku, I think at the moment, he's more incisive. And, I think actually they're very close to each other. I just personally, I like Lukaku's playing style a bit more.
We're two different players, well, yeah.
Yeah, just, of course, historically, Lukaku's nowhere close to Ronaldo. At the moment, I prefer Lukaku. And I think Ronaldo is still so good that you need to have him on the bench, though.
Yeah. Apparently, what's it called? Nicholas Bean says, Arda, Ibra would rather fist fight Lukaku than bench behind him, which is also true. Thank God we're not making this is not realistic. Also, one thing's for sure, both Lukaku and Ronaldo can't score free kicks to save their lives. But I'll ask Johnny, Sampi, and Amy, but I'll start with Ricky first because we didn't get to get his answer on the leadership question. So wait. Kiko says if Ibra wants it, Ronaldo, Lukaku can polish his shoes. But that's a big statement. And then I'll ask you guys this as well about if Ibra is in the elite of football. But Ricky, why Ronaldo and not Lukaku?
Here, guys, I thought about it also as a fan. I can never put Lukaku in front of Ronaldo. Then I said it before, Ronaldo 47 goals in his last 47 Serie A matches. So, yeah. And then, obviously, as a fan, and then I don't think it's totally crazy to put Ronaldo in front of Lukaku. We mentioned it before. Lukaku at the moment is nowhere near Ronaldo. Also, for the type of player he has been, like the whole story of Ronaldo. And yeah, Ronaldo is Ronaldo. Cristiano. Sorry for that.
Amy, you're an Inter Milan fan, yet you put Ronaldo in front of Lukaku. How come?
I feel like Ronaldo's just another beast. I think we saw this when he first came to Serie. He's just a level above everyone else. We see it also in other sports, maybe like basketball, where you see LeBron. He's just a bit over every single other player. It's just another
Alex Caruso.
Exactly. Number 2. But no, I think he's just. If you think, I think if you put Ronaldo in Inter, you swap him with Lukaku, he would have like 30 goals by now.
Do you think Lukaku do as well at Juve though?
No, Lukaku needs of course, he helps a lot in how the team plays, but I think if you have a, let's say, lethargic Juve team where all they do is like cross, I don't think Lukaku is scoring much at all, if at all.
I think I am changing my opinion a bit, to be honest. But I'll stick by,
I won't.
Like,
If
I Lukaku, but the arguments are very compelling. And
no, if I had to put my money right now on one of EV's players, right now in the second, I think Lukaku is the most dominant right now. Like,
I just wanted.
Ronnie is good, but Ronnie this year is not comparable also to the last years he had at Juve. I remember the year where he scored that goal against the Empoli. That was incredible, but. This year, I don't see him.
The best player next to him is Morata. Let me remind you.
Wow.
I just want to.
Ricky, what's up?
No, I just want to point out before passing it on to Johnny that I totally respect Lukaku. I think he's unstoppable, and
okay. Ricky, you back? When tell us when you're back.
Lagging a bit.
Like top strikes.
We might go back to him. Mute him
I'll
for a second.
him and I'll put him. Yeah. All right. When I see him that he's stable, I'll put him back in.
I want to quickly say though.
Yeah. What's up?
If you look all time, Ibra is arguably up there, in my opinion. I think we've never seen a player like him. Someone of that size with that foot ability is. Yeah. We've never seen something like that.
Okay, how far behind Messi and Ronaldo is Ibra? Do you think, guys?
Very far behind.
Never won Champions.
Look! Just one thing. How many Champions League did Ibra win?
Exactly.
No, well, he can't.
I don't want to be rude. But I think
they're not in the same sentence. All time, they're not in the same sentence.
All time,
no one's. I personally, that's another discussion. But personally, I don't think anyone's in the same sentence as Ronaldo and Messi all time.
No, even Maradona.
I think Pelé and Maradona are right below them.
I think as a peak, I think Ronaldinho and Ronaldo could be, or
as a peak.
Ronaldo.
But that's the thing. As a peak, yeah. But when you have to consider their whole career, and also in terms of longevity,
it's not close.
No one is even close. 11 Ballon d'Ors together. How many Champions Leagues? Ronaldo has 5 and Messi has 4.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
5 and 4.
Then if you look at all the goals they've scored, they've been the best players in the world for the past 10 years, 15, no, more than 10 years, 15
20.
years almost.
Since 2008, I think Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or. Sorry, guys, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I was just finishing off saying about Lukaku that I totally respect him as a player. I think he's absolutely dominant there at Inter. But we just said that Ronaldo, Messi, they're just one step above. I'm sorry, but that's how it is.
That's just how it is. All right, so then we'll move on to the next one. So you guys, Johnny, Sampi, and Amy, decided to bench Lukaku and not Ibra. So I have a question. How come Lukaku, not Ibra? Let's go with Johnny first because he hasn't spoken a lot. Johnny, how come Lukaku, not Ibra?
Yeah, because I think, I don't know, I just think Lukaku's a better player. However, I think in a partita in corsa, where you want the substitute, maybe Ibra could be better because normally when the game is hard, you want to whip in lots of crosses, attack as much as you can. Ibra is very valuable there. So tactically, Ibra makes sense, but I think Lukaku is a better player. Although I do believe Lukaku is very reliant on Inter being in the lead to play well. So they get to counter-attacking opportunities. And I don't know. I think for different players, but I only chose Lukaku because I think he's a lot better right now. And maybe you're winning a game 1-0, you want to close it. You put in Lukaku, and it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, I am a madman because I put Ronaldo as the sell. Well, it's just because I have a Debole for Iber. I just love him. Right, we will move on to the last part of our show, guys, because it's been an hour 44, and I can't believe some people are still watching us, but thank you very much. So, predictions. Each week, our hosts and viewers will be predicting the coming week Serie A results. Predictions will be recorded, and points will be assigned based on accuracy. Hoff, do you want to quickly talk us through predictions from last week and how we did?
Yeah, so prediction from last week. I won't go and bore you guys too much, but we have quite a few perfect guesses, actually, which isn't too common. But both Arda and I guessed Atalanta winning against Sampdoria 2-0. Then Sampi guesses Cagliari winning 2-0 against Crotone. Arda guesses Inter winning 3-0 against Genoa. And I guessed Napoli winning 2-0 against Benevento. So the points for this week were 8 for me, 9 for Arda, 9 for Arda, 4 for Sampi, 4 for Johnny, and 3 for Amy.
Up there.
Right.
Yeah, Amy didn't have a great week. Let's be honest.
So do you want to?
Yeah, if we look at the standings, I'm first with 97. Johnny's second with 94. We then have Amy with 79, but Ricky is not slowly. He's quickly catching up with 77, and Arda, last as always, not moving anywhere with 69.
Hey! Sorry, I was waiting.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi. Okay, so we're gonna get on to the last part of our show, which is where we get to the predictions. So let me just hide this. But guys, predictions for the upcoming week of Serie A. Sorry, I'm just gonna zoom in on this a bit. I hope you guys can see this. So, Luca, what did you say your prediction was going to be?
I kind of forgot, so...
All right, let's just get through them quickly like this. So, Luca said 3-1. We all said that Lazio is going to win against Serie.
We're all jinxing it. We're all jinxing it,
but we all said that Lazio would win against Torino. The only difference is by how much. Amy says that we're going to have a clean sheet. Then Juve against Spezia, we're all predicting a win as well. But Amy and I are predicting that Spezia will score at least one, which could be interesting. But high-scoring games, high-scoring game predicted by everyone. Sassuolo Napoli could be an interesting one. So Luca's predicting a Napoli win. I'm predicting a Napoli win, and so is Johnny. Yet Sampi and Emiliano are both predicting a 1-0 draw. Guys, please do leave us your predictions as well while you're at it. But then the next one is Cagliari Bologna, an interesting game for the right side of the table, especially for Cagliari, because it could tell us whoever Semplici is actually going to get them moving. But Luca predicts a 2-0 draw, and so do Johnny and Amy, predicting a draw, but only 1-0. But Sampi and I are both predicting a Cagliari win. I'm predicting 3-1, and Sampi is predicting 2-1. Milan Udinese, I usually don't want to jinx it, but this week I didn't care. We all predicted 2-0 apart from Luca predicting a 3-1. Then the Derby della Lanterna could be the most interesting game of week.
Yeah, Arda, maybe let's take a moment on this, because let's not just speed through them. I'd see if anyone in the chat feels like telling us their opinion on Derby della Lanterna, because I think it might be one of the best Genoa derbies that we've had in the past half decade.
Yeah, because Genoa is fighting for relegation, and sometimes it's just a tinsy bit up there.
Genoa's safe, bro. Shout out to my friend Zeb. I doubt he's watching this. Genoa fan. Genoa's going to make it through. We're going to win this derby, I believe.
All right, let's see what we put. So, Luca, you predicted a draw, and so did I. Luca, what was your reasoning behind it?
I think both teams are very good right now, and in a derby, all form goes out the window, so I'm not really looking at the past games too much. But I think they're both capable of scoring a few goals, and I think, it'll end in a draw.
Yeah, I predict a draw as well. I think it's one of those derbies where they just cancel themselves out because of how much I think they'll play very similarly, but I think it won't be as good of a derby as we imagine. Maybe in terms of aggressiveness, yes, but not in terms of the scoreline. Sampi, you predicted, and Amy as well, we'll ask you guys. You both predicted a Sampdoria win. Sampi, how come you think
there's
Sampdoria
actually a
is better?
mistake, a typo? I predicted a 2-1 for Genoa.
You predicted
Genoa win.
You predicted 2-1 for. Well,
Yeah,
we're gonna Sorry, I revealed your thing. So, sorry, Amy, you're the only one to predict the Sampdoria win. Why? How come?
I feel like Genoa currently has been in much better form, but I think, sorry for that, Samp is a better team, and they've kind of lost motivation. I feel like a derby is the perfect chance to get back to a winning streak, let's say. So I think this is the perfect chance for them to do that.
Well, Sampi and Johnny, you guys predicted a Genoa win. Is it just because of the form right now?
Genoa won the Coppa Italia Derby. We're going to win this one too. We're scatenati, as we say in Italian.
Well, if they actually use their first team this time, it would be useful. But that was a slight dig from me. Then Benevento against
same as
Verona.
Johnny.
Benevento against Verona could be an interesting one.
Did I say for one? No, I didn't.
Well, these I think are the predictions I got down, guys.
The fuck?
Yeah,
Why would I say
probably
4-1?
wrong. Oh,
1 second, let me check.
how did I do?
Move on to someone.
Okay, anyway, I predicted a Verona win, and so did Sampi. But we have two interesting scores. Jonathan, you predicted a 2-2 draw, and Amy, you predicted a Benevento win. Johnny, how come you predicted a draw?
I don't know. This game just smells like a draw to me. Two teams that are defensively solid. Maybe Vento a little less, but Verona's a weird team that does exceptionally well against the top six, and against the rest kind of struggles. So they're away from.
Did you see that meme about the easiest job in the world? It's the opposition goalkeeper against Benevento.
Yeah.
Lapadula's up top. Wow, that guy.
Yeah, I said Benevento Hellas 1-2.
You said 1-2. Sorry, I must have put him out wrong.
Yeah, I'm not on crack. Benevento's not scoring 4 goals against one of the best leagues and the best defenses in the league.
Yeah. What about you, Amy? You
What if they
predicted
do?
a Benevento win.
If they do.
Hellas is usually pretty bad against small teams, and I usually follow this rule where a small or smaller team beats or ties against a big team. They always go on to lose. It happened with Samp, it happened with Spezia. So I'm going with it again. I think Benevento is going to beat Hellas after Hellas tied with Juve.
Yeah, I just went. Sampi and I both went for a Verona draw for a Verona win.
Honestly, I'm gonna be quite pissed and surprised if after
us, yeah,
the 1-1 against us, they're gonna not win against Benevento. So,
and then the next game is a game that could be a bloodbath, but we all predicted a good win by Atalanta. I predicted 2-0 again because I think Atalanta are not in the mood to get to score so many. I think as soon as they get a job done, they get a job done. But we all predicted pretty big wins. And then the most interesting, apart from the derby game of the weekend, because we got a crap Fiorentina against Roma, which is shown that against, as we talked about before, against the big teams is not that good. Fiorentina's not considered anymore a big team, but could be an interesting game. Could both teams really need to win to send a message to the league? So let's see what you guys said. Luca, 2-1 to Fiorentina. I said 3-2 to Fiorentina. Johnny, Amy, and Sampi predicted a win for Roma. So I'll go to Luca first because we're the odd ones out. How come he said Fiorentina's going to win?
Honestly, I don't know. I think
I was on crack.
I think Fiorentina needs to pick up a win. I don't like how Roma is playing. Maybe it's the start of a mini crisis. I think it was just more of like a strategic move. If I lose out on the 1 point from guessing a Roma win, then too bad. But if I manage to get a Fiore victory, then no one else will. So I guess I'm just taking a risk.
I personally said that Fiorentina was going to win because I believe that Fiorentina at home, I don't know, I just see them doing better. They've been doing badly this year, but I don't see them doing two games in a row that badly. But Roma, on the other hand, they're one of those teams that when they start going into slump, they really get into it. They don't lose one game and then win the other. They're historically a team that I've always seen slumping. But Sampi, Johnny, and Amy, I'll go to Amy first. I haven't heard from him in a while. You're saying a pretty, Amy, decisive win by Roma, 3-0 on Fiorentina. How come? Do you think they're just better?
We've seen this all year. Roma's a pretty bipolar team where they go from title contenders to sacking Fonseca 1 week from to the next one. So I think this is going to be a pretty convincing win by Roma, just coming back from the Milan loss.
And then Johnny and Sampi. Sampi, what about you? How come you say Roma's going to win and not Fiore?
Yeah, basically same as Amy. Also, in this case, I think Roma is very altalenante, we say in Italian, and against Fiorentina this year they're kind of in a crisis. We can say they just have to get the season over and think about the next one and do much better. I think Roma
They still need to save themselves, bro. They need to save.
Yeah. I mean, for more ambitious goals, goals.
For sure.
I think Roma is just superior, also in terms of style of play and manager. So,
Johnny, you just said a plain 2-1. How come?
Roma always beats the worst teams, so
Yeah. Nicholas
that's
Beans,
about
comes
it.
up with, Nicholas Beans comes up with another intelligent comment. Fiorentina's. Incredible. Okay, and then we'll get to the last game of the weekend, which is Parma weekend. Sorry, it's on Wednesday, so you'll be seeing us on Thursday talking about these games. Parma against Inter. We all predicted a win. I predicted a 5-1 win, but we all predicted 3 goals apart from me. I don't think there's much to explain, but that is it. So let's try to finish before the 2-hour mark, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you guys. Let me go back into presentation mode. Catenaccio Podcast on Twitch. It was a shame that tonight you weren't as many as the other times, but I know why, and we'll talk about it next time. But from that, it was an incredible episode. I had so much fun. I'm really happy with the new segments we got in, and I'm really happy we got all the team from Catenaccio here together with us. Johnny didn't run away, and Emiliano made a sacrifice, and he got kidnapped, and he's in a public toilet just to be on the show. But apart from that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening, everyone who's messaged, everyone who's followed, and everyone who's subscribed via Prime, whatever. So before we shoot off, thank you to Radio Sonera for the platform, and I'd like to thank my panel. Jonathan, say bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Then Emiliano.
Bye, guys. I'll come back for another undisclosed location next week.
And then Luca.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Ricky.
Ciao a tutti. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Anyway, it's 2:00 in the morning. My mom's about to kill me because I've been shouting for the last half an hour. But for the last 2 hours, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've been your host for today, Alessandro Doriani, and we're signing off. Bye-bye.